And I think we're live. Good afternoon, everybody. If we shift our focus from an obsession with our own perceived stories, we can usually unlock magical opportunities for growth and transformation that we might not have even thought were possible otherwise. You just have to know where to look. And welcome to another installment of A Year of Thinking Magically. We invite you to join us on a thoughtful journey toward reclaiming our power and creating a more magical, more fulfilling, healthier experience of life. I'm your host, Dr. John Michael Salvato, and I'll be with you each and every weekday to share with you one way in which I'm committed to shifting my own mindset every day in hopes that it inspires you to find a way or a place or a means in which to shift your own mindset. More on that when we come back in just a minute. And all I have to do is get coordinated enough to do this. Okay, I think I've got it. I've got it all coordinated today. It is Monday after all, and we are just preparing for Snowpocalypse 2021. They tell us that a nor'eastern is about to hit us within the next hour, hour and a half, actually to begin. So we'll see what happens with that. But welcome back, and of course, we thank you in advance for liking and subscribing and sharing our videos with those that you think might vibe with us. That really helps us to get the word out there. It helps us to grow our brand and our channel. And please remember that if you're watching us on Facebook, you need to click the link that's found in the description of this broadcast in order to give Facebook permission to show us who's commenting during the show. Otherwise, your comments may not be noted. So let's go ahead and dive in. I want you to imagine, if you will, that you have access to one of the world's most incredible libraries. Absolutely beautiful, stunning library, just filled to the rafters with rare books. And each day you go into that beautiful repository of wisdom and inspiration and knowledge, only to pick up the very same book, to read the same chapter of that book each and every day. Now, would you say that you're getting any real value from that library? Probably not. But that's what so many of us do. And that's where today's mind shift comes in. What if you and I each decide to find one person today and read a couple pages of their story instead of obsessing on our own? Isn't it possible that the breakthrough that we're looking for, the breakthrough that we need, might just be discovered in another book instead of obsessing over our own story? I mean, if the breakthrough was in the chapter that we've been stuck on, we would have probably discovered it already. A few years ago, there was an individual in the esoteric and occult community whom everybody pretty much held in what appeared to be disdain, or at the very least to keep at arm's length. Outside of a very small, very narrowly focused group of people, no one seemed to bother much with them. And it struck me as odd. I mean, they were clearly experienced and knowledgeable, very friendly. But all I could see and all I could hear from the popular kids table was essentially regurgitation of the same diluted pop culture dreck that appears in almost every blog and 90% of the books that are published by mainstream publishers for the past 25 years. And this person was always left out of the conversation. So I decided to befriend them and to ask them to share their story with me. And over time, we got to know one another. And I not only gained a remarkable amount of insight into the incestuous world of the American and British pop culture witchcraft world, which including why uh, uh, so many times such little substance comes out of those cultures in a postmodern world. But I also learned a lot about myself. In fact, in some ways, it dramatically changed my life. And as a result, when I was issued an ultimatum a couple months back by one of the world's most reviled and duplicitous, uncultured, narcissistic trolls of the American neo-pagan pseudo-witchy world, because I dared to engage in a defense of a friend who's an author and his family on the West Coast, who this sad little troll feels so threatened by that he simply can't go a week without attacking them. Much like Donald Trump was obsessed during his time in office, this one particular social media troll could not help but attack these really well-meaning, gifted practitioners on the West Coast. And simultaneously, I called into question the motivation and lacking ethics surrounding the videos that one of the parasites who ride on this troll's impotent coattails was demonstrating on social media, likewise attempting to invalidate genuine practitioners because they didn't fit into the pretentious little world that they had created. And I remembered something when this encounter was taking place, and I was being threatened to be disinvited from their next big event or whatever. I remembered something that I learned from the story of my new friend about how they decided to remain on the fringe of that culture and focus on doing what really makes a difference in the world rather than feeding on the drama that Uncle Fester, enemy of pizzerias, civility, and decorum, would have preferred. And you know what? It really made a difference. The freedom that came from just walking away from all of that engagement with the troll resulted in my freeing up space, having more time mentally and physically to bring together a collective of practitioners who really care about helping others to find their voices and find their way in our community. It freed me up to focus on becoming more clear and open about my own journey, and dramatically, it transformed the landscape of my broadcast programming, my home, my relationships, and the projects I would undertake in 2021. Hey, there's my friend Kim, who says, I got to put my glasses on. Sorry, you can't see the screen. The incestuous world of Western witchcraft and occultism creates regurgitated pablum. Yeah, I couldn't say it better myself, my sister. Regurgitated is right. And you know, this character was no different. And I gotta say, the lessons that I learned from this experience I wouldn't have learned otherwise, were I still obsessed on reading that same chapter in my own story, day after day after day. Jason Reed says, let's see. Oh, very, very nice. Says, you're amazing. I so love following you. I'm grateful that you find value in the stuff that I share. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but I really do appreciate knowing when what I'm sharing is landing well. And speaking of sharing our stories, how's this for a segue? I'm pleased to announce to you guys that the faculty and the members of the Inner Alchemy School and Collective have generously decided to and agreed to give those who want to explore what we have to offer a free, a risk-free 7-day peek behind the curtain, if you will, for a limited time. You could do that by just checking out, I always do it backwards, just checking out the link at the bottom of the screen if you'd like to know more and you'd like to take a look at some of the courses that are included by being a member of the collective. This month's offering includes courses on folk magic and conjure, the 7 African powers, herbal and plant magic classes, LGBTQ magical studies, Saxon magic, working with plant ancestors, um, kitchen witchery, hermetics, and of course, Italian witchcrafts, stregoneria, and folk magic, plus so much more. So we hope to see you there, and we appreciate you spending time with us each day for just a few minutes. We try to keep these to under 15 minutes a day, preferably at 10 minutes, and I think we're probably just over that. So at the end of every one of these mind shifts, we like to encourage you guys to stay in the moment, to be grateful for what you've got. Fill that moment with gratitude for what you have, because that opens the door to the potentiality that exists within each and every one of us. And there's no reason to expect, if you can't be grateful for what you have now, that you're going to be any happier with more. So fill that moment with gratitude. And always remember, my friends, that the best is yet to come. We'll talk to you soon.